Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and support Mira and the Andean's channel. This is definitely the scariest horror film in recent years. The film is based on a true story from Taiwan, leaving a psychological impact on everyone who has seen it. Here's a hint. The film is intense throughout. It's highly recommended to watch with adult friends. The story begins with an elderly man in his 60s walking into the forest. After turning around, Shui was puzzled. How could someone be calling his name in the deep mountains and dense forests? Soon after, the community posted a notice about Shui's disappearance. As his good daughter-in-law, Xiu Lan would say a few words in Shui's memory whenever she passed by the bulletin board. Shui, come back soon. I'm still waiting for you to sing. After returning home, Xiu Lan made breakfast. Hearing the alarm, she hurried to wake her grandson as he was late. Wei lost a lot of pay. He ate quickly and rushed to the company. After Wei left, as Xiu Lan was about to clean up, a familiar voice suddenly came from the bedroom. Xiu Lan searched for the source of the sound, but found nothing. Turning around, she noticed the door had been opened. About to close it, Xiu Lan tripped and fell. Struggling to get up, she found the floor covered in black mud. Just then, a strange sound came from behind her. That evening, Wei brought his girlfriend home for dinner. But Xiu Lan seemed dazed, constantly muttering Shui's name. The next day, Wei was late again. About to scold his grandma, he found Xiu Lan gone. On his way to work, he saw a crowd gathered around someone eating. It was Shui, missing for so long. Shui stared blankly, silent. Upon seeing Wei, he grew nervous and kept apologizing to him. Wei was puzzled, but didn't dwell on it. At work, he got an anonymous package with Shui's camera, showing them hanging out. The video ended with a creepy red-dressed girl, pale-faced with pitch-black eyes, looking lifeless. That evening, Wei asked doorman Uncle Zhao to return the camera, unsure of Shui's building. Uncle Zhao led him to Shui's place. Upon entering, they found the room pitch black. As Wei searched with his phone light, the living room radio suddenly made a noise. Uncle Zhao looked startled, muttering in the living room that he wanted to go home. He spotted a photo, triggering memories of a past day. The memory repeated in his mind. The recollection of that particular day kept replaying in his thoughts. Wei then posted Xiu Lan's scholarly advice, hoping Grandma would return soon. In the following days, Wei often dreamed of Grandma. Upon waking, things seemed normal. As Wei prepared for work, he heard a noise. Investigating, he found black mud everywhere. Wei woke from a dream, hearing his grandmother's voice in a daze. He found his missing grandmother making breakfast in the living room. Overjoyed, Wei hugged her tightly and began to cry loudly. That evening, Xiaomei saw her boyfriend outside the window while on duty. After the broadcast, Xiaomei left the recording studio. Noticing something odd, she took him to the hospital to see a doctor. Strangely, Wei vanished when she turned around. Xiaomei searched and found Wei in the hospital corridor. Wei stared at a room, claiming to see cute girls, but it was empty. At home, Xiaomei felt an eerie chill, sensing something unclean. Wei called her to eat, and Xiaomei looked closely. He was eating maggots. Terrified, she ran to get Uncle Zhao for help. When they returned, Wei had disappeared. Uncle Zhao believed Wei encountered evil and performed an exorcism. He prayed to the local god for protection against evil spirits. Uncle Zhao muttered incomprehensible words to ward off evil. Xiaomei joined in, following Uncle Zhao's lead in the ritual. A cold wind blew in, silencing them both momentarily. Meanwhile, long-missing Xiu Lan returned and was taken to the hospital. Xiaomei rushed there, finding Xiu Lan in an agitated state. Xiu Lan vomited, expelling a rare egg, the red-clothed ghost-faced swan. After returning home, Xiaomei researched insect eggs. Surprisingly, the bug's face resembled the red-dressed girl's. Meanwhile, Uncle Zhao, on duty, faintly heard his name on the walkie-talkie. Uncle Zhao was puzzled, but then, suddenly, he stood up to check and saw a ghost jumping around nearby. He quickly searched for a weapon. Inside, Xiaomei slept soundly. Her computer suddenly lit up, waking her. As she rose, she found her arms bloody, the bed crimson. She struggled desperately, but in vain. Just as she collapsed, the red-dressed girl appeared. It was just a nightmare, but so real that Xiaomei's eyes were bloodshot. To find our way, Xiaomei used her work connections to ask listeners for help locating her boyfriend. Soon, Xiaomei received a call from a listener, revealing that the red-faced ghost swan lived in Wanlong Pit. The next morning, Xiaomei joined the search team at Wanlong Pit. At a fork, they split up to search for our way. As Xiaomei turned a corner, the rescue team vanished mysteriously. Night fell, trapping her in darkness. In the darkness, Xiaomei heard someone calling her name. After the lights faded, she raised a burning stick and looked around, suddenly seeing a human face growing on a tree. Xiaomei was terrified. She felt a chill down her spine, and turning around, she saw another corpse on the tree. Panicked, Xiaomei crawled away. The wailing of ghosts filled her ears, and looking back she saw the trees covered in human hands. After a moment of agonizing pain, Xiaomei saw a blood-covered child standing before her. This was the child Xiaomei had aborted without telling our way, as she wasn't ready for motherhood. Looking at the child, Xiaomei shed guilty tears. She apologized repeatedly, then hugged the bloody child tightly. Suddenly, the scene changed. Xiaomei found herself at home, momentarily lost in the warm atmosphere. Soon, she sensed something was amiss. Been asleep for 2 years. Don't you want to live with her? Xiaomei realized it was all a hallucination. She lit a burning stick, revealing Ah Wei's true form. As the illusion faded, more demons approached. Just as she felt helpless, Xiaomei saw Ah Wei trapped in a tree. She freed him, but as they fled, a girl in red knocked Ah Wei down. The terrifying girl in red approached Xiaomei, who felt like a lamb awaiting slaughter. The girl grabbed Xiaomei's neck tightly. Xiaomei looked at Ah Wei in the distance, remembering their suffocating love. This awakened a hidden strength within her. Gritting her teeth, Xiaomei thrust the last burning stick into the red-clad girl's face. Under the intense light, the girl in red transformed into a swan and slowly vanished. Soon after, a rescue team arrived and saved them both. Everything gradually returned to normal. Xiaomei and Ah Wei got married and things began to improve. Later, Xiaomei became pregnant. Surprisingly, during the ultrasound, they saw the image of a girl in red. That's all for today's story. I'm Brother New. See you next time.